Kevin, these are my bodyguards, Matt and Sal. They come with me wherever I go. At school, at the movie theater, on vacation, at concerts, they are always there. Who do you think they are protecting me from? The answer is myself. You heard that right. My bodyguards are protecting me from myself. What does that even mean? Let me give you an example. 4 years ago, my school organized a field trip to the circus. This was my first time going to the circus. It was so much better than I had expected. There were acrobats doing incredible things in the air, fire eaters, wild animal tamers that shared a cage with their animals. I was watching the show, completely mesmerized because these were brave people like me. Then a man came on to do a bow and arrow act. He was really talented, just like the others. First, he hit a series of balloons tied to a rope. Then, his assistant threw 3 balloons up in the air. He pierced those with his arrows as well. The hardest trick in this act was the last one. The assistant covered the man's eyes with a blindfold. She stood in front of him and put an apple on top of her own head. Everyone was holding their breaths. Just as the man was about to shoot, the woman said, "No, I can't do it. It's too dangerous," throwing the apple on the floor and running away. The man was shocked. He turned to the audience. "Well, this has never happened before. Would anyone like to volunteer? Otherwise, I can't perform my act," he said. As soon as I heard this, I stood up and jumped into the ring before anyone could stop me. I picked up the apple from the floor. I put it on my head. The man was still in a blindfold. "The apple is on my head. Let's see if you can hit it," I said. When the man said, "Aren't you scared? I can't see anything right now. I could shoot you instead of the apple," I said, "No, I'm not. In fact, I don't know what fear is." Then the guy took aim while still in a blindfold. He fired his shot. The arrow flew towards me, cut the apple on my head in two, and went deep into the wooden panel behind me. At that moment, the man's assistant came back to the ring screaming. The shooter took off the blindfold, saw me, and screamed, "Who are you?" It was only after the fact that we figured out what was really going on. It turned out that the assistants yelling, "I can't do it," and running away was also a part of the act. They would always plant another circus performer in the audience. When she ran away, that person would go up on stage pretending to be a volunteer. Until that day, they never had a regular person volunteer for this. When I ran into the ring, the circus staff thought I was part of the team. Of course, I wasn't. When they figured out I was a real member of the audience, they were really surprised with my bravery. I'm sure you are also curious as to why I did it. The answer is that I have a very rare genetic disorder. I can't feel fear. My parents were very concerned when they learned about what I did at the circus. My mom said, "Kevin, I know it wasn't your fault, but it can't go on like this. We have to take precautions. We've decided to hire bodyguards for you. They will go everywhere with you and prevent you from hurting yourself." This is how my bodyguards, Matt and Sal, came into my life. My dad is a well-known lawyer. His job pays very well. That's how my parents could afford the bodyguards. But I didn't like it at all. You might think having bodyguards is kind of cool, but going everywhere with them, being constantly under their scrutiny, and most importantly, getting all kinds of weird looks from people is definitely not something you should envy. At the same time, I understand my family. Because of my condition, there's a good chance that I would hurt myself. According to some doctors, it's a miracle that I even made it to this age. As you know, our brain manages all of our emotions. Thanks to our brain, we feel happy, surprised, angry, sad, and, of course, scared too. There's a part of our brain called the amygdala. This part is responsible for fear. It also controls worry and stress, which are closely related to fear. And therein lies my problem. My condition prevents the amygdala from functioning properly. In other words, my brain doesn't know what fear is. And since my brain doesn't know what it is, I can't feel it. For example, if a barking dog runs towards me, I don't get scared. Because I'm not scared, it doesn't occur to me that I should run. I'm sure you can guess what might happen in that situation if I don't run. I can